Well, we traveled again.
It was a road game.
Yeah. A road gig.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning. We are here today at a local business, a new business, a popular business right now.
One that I'd never heard of.
Well, he's not on social media.
No, I just got rid of the gram and the book.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's why you're missing out.
Yeah. Well, today we're here with Samantha, the business owner of Sugar and Flour of Pearisburg. And it's kind of,
It's neat.
it's very neat in here.
It's neat. That's the first thing I thought of when I came here. This is neat.
It's definitely a coffee shop vibe.
Yes.
Well, my first question is, if you would introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your, upbringing.
Okay. Well, my name is Samantha, and I actually grew up in Monroe County, but I've lived in Pearisburg, Giles County for about 15, almost 16 years.
Okay.
And I have two wonderful little kids, Wyatt and Paisley, and my husband is Aaron. He and I have been married for 12 years. So everybody's been such an instrumental part in getting this up and running. I have been baking professionally for about 11 years now.
Wow.
So this has always just kind of been my thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess my next, were you always interested in starting a business like this in particular?
Well, no.
Okay.
It took a lot of courage to get here. I've always been interested in having something that was mine, but I was always just so scared. Especially when you live and you've grown up in a really small town.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's just like this irrational fear that you can't have something like this where you live. It took me a really long time to want to actually branch out. My husband's he was the reason this happened, because he was like, you're going to do it, now's your time. There was a lot of different components that kind of led up to being able to do this. It was always, I guess, in the back of my mind, but I never thought that it would actually come to fruition. I actually remember, I have such vivid memories of this. I was like 5-6 years old, and I would make mud pies for my cousins on the farm. And I would have them come up like a drive-through style situation, and we would have mud pies. And I remember being like so offended because they did not love that mud pie.
Right.
But I guess it just kind of really evolved over the years. So here we are.
Right. But why a coffee shop? Why a bakery?
Well, I guess because I feel like if you're going to be successful, you have to do something that you love.
Right.
I've worked in healthcare my entire adult career, and I didn't love healthcare, especially the last few years. So that was one of the really big pushes to kind of get me out and do something. But everything that I do here is something that I personally enjoy. I love coffee. I am a coffee snob.
Same.
Same. I love baking, which our lunch has been such a huge seller. I've not been able to be baking as much as I want, but I'm getting ready to shift gears and do that. But it just brings me so much joy. And I actually kind of made an agreement with myself a couple of years ago that anything in my life that didn't bring me joy, I wasn't going to do it. And so
that's a great mindset.
Yeah. So this brings me so much joy, and it's just something that I really like. I don't think I could ever, as much as I love to cook, I'm very passionate about that, I could never have like a sit down restaurant. So this was kind of like a perfect combination for me to be able to create the drinks that I love and be able to share those with people. A healthy menu option for lunch, which I think was very much needed in our county.
Right.
But also the baked goods. I have so many just different ideas that swirl through my mind every day.
Right.
But I really enjoy doing that. So that's why this was created.
I guess you have to have like a creative, mentality to, I guess to keep evolving your menu and everything, and keep people coming.
Yes, and that was that's kind of the basis for my menu style that I have now. And it's a little bit harder for people to wrap their minds around that you just can't order off of a set menu every single day like you would at a normal restaurant.
Right.
But if I wake up tomorrow and I say, I'm really feeling macarons and cinnamon rolls, then that's what I want to do the next week. Or if I'm able to get a fresh produce from a farmer's market and I want to make something totally different out of that for the following week, then I love that I have the ability to switch that up on a weekly basis and change that menu.
Right.
That's interesting.
And you don't get tired of it either.
Exactly. Yeah, because after you've made 500 bagels, you don't want to make bagels for a couple of weeks. You want to do something different.
Yeah, I feel that, yeah.
But when I worked in healthcare, I've always worked outside of the county. So for the last 6 years of that, I was working in Blacksburg. And I just loved being able to experience everything that they have over there. And it really expanded my palate personally. And that's what I kind of hope to do here, too, in Giles County. Because if it's on the menu, they're going to be curious about it, even if it's something that they haven't had before. But I'm pretty sure they're going to end up loving it.
And that's my thing, too. I think there needs to be more businesses like this in Giles because they come and go all the time. And it's sad, but I think that's one of my other questions later on. But it seems like this place in particular, it might be here for a good bit.
I hope so.
Well, you might have already answered this question. What made you choose Giles County? We like I said, we need more places like this here.
Yeah. Well, I knew if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it where I lived.
Yeah.
Because I've tried to incorporate myself into the community as much as I can, even years past.
Yeah.
My kids go to school here. I live right around the corner. My husband works here. And if I couldn't do it at home, where I grew up, this was where I wanted to be able to create my life. And a lot of that probably has stemmed from I've always had to work somewhere else. And I wanted to be able to, it kind of goes back to you saying that you hope that I'm here for a while. I hope that I'm here for a while. But part of the plan, the master plan of some of us is that, we want to revitalize our town, not for ourselves, our community, but for our kids.
Yeah. Because
I want to have something that my kids are proud of, but also that they can grow with and that they can have a future and not kind of feel like they have to leave just because it's a town that's kind of dissolving a little bit.
Right.
There's so many open storefronts here, which thankfully there's been so many new businesses come in this last year. Actually, 2021, we had several new businesses come on this strip alone. So definitely want to get those filled so that we can be proud of where we're from. We can let other people know how great it is to live in Pearisburg, and what a wonderful community we have.
And also, you mentioned kids. The older they get, like high schoolers or whatever, let's go get some coffee and, hang out and chill, that type of vibe. And this is a perfect place, to do that. Yes,
a safe place for them to come because so many of them don't have an outlet after they're out of school, and so they end up doing something that they probably shouldn't have.
Right.
So that's kind of the concept too for the seating. The desk up front here that we have, my kids actually come and do their homework here.
Right.
Even just being open for the couple days that we have in January, I've actually had a lot of people come and do their work also. Like if they work from home or they work on the road or something, they've actually stopped in for a couple of hours and done their work. So that's what my vision is for this space.
You've thought about this a lot, it seems like. So that's a good thing.
Yes. So we actually started kind of the development on the building almost 2 years ago. So the development of the building itself took almost 2 years from the initial concept of meeting with the developers of the building to when we opened. It was a really long process, and even before then the business concept was developing. So
this is a brand new building?
No, this building is very well loved. I'm not going to say historic, but it's very old. But we completely revamped this entire space. And so there's actually just like tons of square foot that are still undeveloped. But, we were able to save the floors. These are original floors. But all the walls and things that you see here, everything's completely new build out.
Nice.
Yeah, because I came up, pulled in the parking lot. I couldn't remember what was here previously.
Right. Yeah, so this was actually a furniture store. Ingram's Furniture.
Okay.
And so I love the new. I mean, you see everything's kind of trendy, but I also love the history.
Right.
So this week, while I'm closed, I'm actually bringing out more stuff that I haven't got to put out yet, but it's a little bit of the old with the history of the building. So I've got different things that were kind of here before. It was vacant for like 10 years, I think. So you can kind of come in and see what it was before and what it is now, like pictures of,
that's what, I was
what
about to
it
say.
was.
Are you talking like decorations?
Yeah, so there's like photos, like there's a yardstick, which I think is so interesting, from Ingram's Furniture, and it's got the date and everything written out on it. There's just some like letters and different kind of photos that I'm going to put together, put those out.
That's a lot like the Palisades restaurant, because we interviewed the owner there, and I know Shayna personally, and she incorporated a lot of the history of the old building in her restaurant as well.
I think it's so important for people to see that, because if someone walks in and maybe this has been their dream for the last 10 years, and they can see what it was and what it is now, and that it is possible, or another developer or whoever has a vested interest in, maybe they don't want to personally run the business, but if they can see what a transformation this building was, then multiple buildings on this strip and Winona, they can kind of see the potential for what could be there as well.
I could do this.
Yeah.
Pretty much. All right. You pretty much answered the next question too. Was there a specific aesthetic you saw that you wanted to incorporate in the shop?
Well, I just kind of wanted to do a trendy, like, industrial vibe.
Yeah.
I love everything that's black. Like,
Same.
people are like, oh my gosh, you're so bubbly. And I love pink. But I just couldn't see someone being comfortable in, like, a totally pink, blitzed out bakery. Which they're perfect, and I love those. And I would spend time there, too.
Very poppy.
Yes. I wanted to do kind of something that would fit, like, all personalities. Like, you guys, as mainly men, wouldn't feel like a weird coming in here and sipping out of a hot pink cup or something like that.
A pink drink from Starbucks.
So different things. I was a little scared. Like, I have the black accent wall, and it's just so huge over there. But I just wanted to try it, and it works.
The vibe, I really love the vibe here.
Thank you.
Is that Edison
I like the lights.
Yeah, the Edison lights. I think that's what they are.
Yes.
Yeah, the little droopy light bulbs.
What was the biggest struggle getting this thing started? Did even COVID have a big effect on it?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm still just experiencing that every day as a retailer, and the supply shortages and the increases. When we first started out, it was late 2019, and we had these plans, and then of course the start of 2020, we're still having conversations, coming in here and kind of laying the scene. And it actually wasn't until later in 2020 when we started experiencing the worst of the shortages, whether that be supplies or staffing, contractors. That was a really big issue there that the developers and I had experienced was with COVID.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest setback, I think. Of course, I'm very fortunate that I have a very handy husband and father.
Right.
So a lot of our build out that we did personally, they did that themselves. So we didn't have to really wait on anybody at the end. We just kind of come in and took care of everything else ourselves after the groundwork was laid for. The building has all new electrical. We had to redo all of that. Well, the developers did. All new plumbing. The build out of the walls. There's so many things that people don't realize that goes into building something out like this. I mean, for example, all the ceiling had to be torn out. I know that the owners of the building, they spent so many days in here just pulling nails out of the wall. So it was a really long process for that, but I think just the general setback itself was COVID.
Right. Now, how, before all this, who do you go to in order to, hey, I want to start this business in Giles County?
Well, they actually approached me.
Oh, okay.
Just because I had started to get to know one of the owners of the building. She and I had developed a working relationship, but then also, when you work with someone on she actually was selling my house. And so we just became friends with that. And then she started to know me, and I had shared my dream with her, of course. A lot of people had kind of already known that this was what I did on the side. It was kind of like my outlet from my 9 to 5. And so... Yeah,
because you would make, if I'm right, you would make stuff and people would pick it up at your house, or you would meet up with them? Okay.
So she had kind of known, and she just said, hey, we've bought this building. We think you'd be perfect. If you want to go ahead, and we'll help you achieve your dream. And I thought, no way, I can't do that. It's Giles County.
And then your husband came in and said, yeah, we're doing it. Yeah,
he did. Yeah. He did. We sat down one day, and he was like, I know you're scared, but if you don't do this now, then in 10 years, you're going to look back and you're going to say, I should have done that. Yeah. You're going to have regret. Of course, you have to think of the financial burden itself. That's one aspect of it, but just the emotional strain that it can put on a person, on relationships. There were so many nights that I left this building crying, just because I'm so overwhelmed with everything. So I knew it was going to be a really big process, but he just kind of said, you're going to do it. So
y'all pulled through.
We did. So we talked through everything, and it's really kind of funny because you look at the space now, right? Yeah. This is roughly 1,800 square foot here.
Okay.
Originally, I wanted to start out with a 300 square foot corner. So when I first come in and we're talking, and I was like, well, guys, I really think if I just have an espresso machine and a little cupcake stand, that'll be perfect for me. And then it just started growing and growing. And you mentioned the orders I was doing out of my home. Under the Virginia cottage laws, you can do things like that as far as cakes and cookies. And so that's what I was doing primarily. Even while still working healthcare. But I was working from home, so I didn't have the extra commute and things like that, and I was able to find the time to do it. So that part of the business just kept growing and growing. And so I was like, well, I do kind of have this group of following, so maybe I could expand just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then this is what it evolved to.
Right.
So it started like a small little corner in this building, and it evolved to the entire space.
Well, I saw online, I was like, she's got a massive following right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, we branched over this too. With growing up here, a lot of businesses have been successful, and then all of a sudden they're gone. However, with this amount of success I've already have seen, it seems like you're here to stay. What do you bring to the table for that long-lasting business?
Sounds like creativity.
That's what I was thinking.
I think so. The creativity aspect, definitely. You have to evolve with your customers, and
The customer's always right.
Yeah. Food Line.
That's what they say.
When I worked at Food Line, my boss was like, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter if they cuss you up the wall.
Yeah,
They're right.
they're always right. I'm just like, all right. Let's just get here and just cuss that the whole day.
Oh, thankfully, I haven't experienced any of that yet.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. But I do think that you have to change and you have to evolve. I would say probably I will get an itch in the next couple of years and completely redecorate.
Right.
That'll be exciting for some. For some, it'll be harder to grasp. But that's, I think, a problem that we've had in the past with other businesses is just that they're not able to grow with the new trends, and that's kind of what it is, right? I mean, you get people and they see an aesthetic on Instagram and they're like, I wish I had this.
Yeah.
If I had this is what I would get. And we've not really had that yet here, I don't think.
Right.
I'm not saying that that's what this is, but at the same time, like, I'm trying to appeal to kind of like the masses of what is currently very trendy right now. But also, I stand behind every product that I have. The biggest thing that I have always preached is quality over quantity.
Right.
And again, some people have gotten upset because I've sold out early or there's not been enough product, but everything that I do is fresh every day. Whatever I don't sell, I donate. I had some food left over a couple of weeks ago. I called the sheriff's department. They come out and they got it and they took it back with them. So that's also a different concept that I have that others may not. I don't keep things overnight and things like that. So when you come in, the product that you're getting is made fresh for you. So I think that will kind of help with staying kind of like here and current and getting people to come back. Repeat customers is super important. So I feel like every guest should have the best experience possible when they come for the first time.
Right.
And then subsequent times after that. And that's been hard, I think, to maintain in other previous businesses.
Right.
But also, social media, so huge right now. And the first day that I was open, I was actually open on my birthday, right? I come in and I did drinks. That was so important to me to be open on my birthday. It was the goal.
Right.
And I actually had people from Draper and from Blacksburg,
Nice.
even from Roanoke, and they came
Wow.
because they'd been watching my page.
Yeah.
So I think getting people outside of Giles to come to our sweet little town, like, that's super important too, to be able to establish a successful business that you're going to stay. You mentioned the Palisades. Like, people come from all over to go and visit her. So that's something that she's established too, like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yes, in a building.
What's in Eggleston? The Palisades Restaurant.
Where? In that old building. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. So she's created something really special too,
Yeah.
having that that following and being able to stay in that. But she just also has something too that's just like so unique as well. Like, that's also a really big selling point for people. As I mentioned earlier, they want whatever aesthetic is going on right now.
Yeah.
And so she's done a great job with that.
And I also think that, you being I saw where you were sold out a couple of days ago. I think people will appreciate the fact that you do, sell out of things because you put, your heart into the stuff you make on a day-to-day basis, just so that the quality is, perfect for them.
Exactly.
Let's see. If you would tell us what is on the menu that really makes Sugar and Flour its own.
Well, the Pearsburg Peach is a cult classic already.
What is this?
It's my favorite.
What is it?
I had it.
So it's my sweet tea, which I've made for like literally 20 years.
But it's like your own sweet tea.
It's like, it's perfect sweet tea.
Yeah.
And then it's got a little kick of a peach syrup to it.
Yes.
I love peach. And so I didn't want to have, okay, if you go into Starbucks, you have like 75 million options, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to, again, focus on something that I could maintain the best quality over, but something that people were going to love and could like make me stand out. So the Pearisburg Peach was born.
Yep.
And I wanted to give it a cute little name, so I don't name a lot of the drinks, but that one definitely did.
Yeah.
And I say that, and then next month I have some specials coming out. But so the Pearisburg Peach for sure. And then already my bagels have just been like out of control. They loved the bagels. Let's see.
You had like a baked potato last week, didn't you?
Yeah, so we did loaded baked potatoes,
Yeah.
chili, and then like a BLT salad. And the salad is like, you can't finish the salad. It is huge.
You're right.
But yeah, so I think I have a set kind of thing. It's just the flavor profiles change. So weekly I'll have some sort of, for lunch, some sort of sandwich, always a salad. Right now we're kind of in soup season.
Oh, yeah, you got to be in soup season.
Yep.
Yeah. But eventually I'll expand to doing like different side dishes with like pasta and things
wow.
like that.
Okay.
Do a really good pasta salad I'm obsessed with.
You're going to turn into a full-blown restaurant pretty much.
And his brother talked about that. We had him on. This is like our third restaurant.
Yeah, my brother,
Done. He's a chef, and
He's
he
a-
talked about changing with the seasons.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
So
how that's a big important factor.
It is.
Yeah.
Because, it's super hard to have, like, strawberries on the menu right now because they're not super
Yeah.
fresh or in season. Like, the parfaits, like I do a Greek yogurt parfait and I change the fresh fruit out daily. People absolutely love those. It's a great breakfast item that you can come in. So a lot of my customers will grab a parfait and a coffee and head to work in the morning. So I do have some staples for sure, but the flavor profiles definitely change, which keeps people coming back.
Right. Are there goals to build the shop more? I keep calling it a shop. Is that what it is, or?
I'm so glad that you said that.
Okay.
Because to me it is. A lot of people are like, are you a coffee shop or are you a bakery or a cafe?
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of all three.
Yeah.
So, I call it a shop for sure. But there are already plans to expand.
Nice.
Because I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. I'm also kind of known for, like, my birthday parties.
Okay.
what do you throw birthday parties?
Well, I throw a lot of parties, for
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Let's get lit.
It's getting
But we're
rowdy.
talking like dinner parties with place settings and like I love a good party.
You'll have a good themed party.
Oh yes,
I'm down.
yes. Oh my
I'm down.
gosh. So, oh my goodness, I have so many plans. But I'm gonna create a dedicated like party space. That's another thing that Giles County's missing is there's not like a ton of places for people to have birthday parties or engagement parties, baby showers. We have some banquet halls around, but
Let's go to the church outside in the picnic table.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Castle Rock picnic shelter.
it's a little limited. So
Right.
I'll have some different packages where I'll throw your whole party for you down to the decorations.
Even the catering of the food and the sweet tea.
Absolutely. The sweet tea.
Like a punch bowl of the
Yeah.
Pearisburg Peach. Huh?
Or you could just come in and use the space. So definitely expanding on that.
So they're going to be in the building?
Yes, it will. For right now, I'll have a dedicated space in here, and then hopefully my personal goal, and I'll say this out loud, but then you never know with timelines and deadlines, I
Right.
would like to see it before the end of the year, having this own dedicated space for the events, which takes a lot of work to kind of pull that out of the air here, but so that's on the horizon. And then I want to do things like trivia night
Yes.
and board game night.
Oh.
Yep.
And we're not getting into karaoke or anything like that. But
Not yet.
Nobody wants to listen to bad singing.
no,
I mean, it's funny and all, but like, you're trying to enjoy like a meal or something, and you have to hear that in the background.
Yes. But I'm super competitive, so like I absolutely want to get just like a bunch of board games out, and you can bring your team and do different things like that. And then obviously like the trivia night, game night kind of thing.
Trivia night. Every town has like a little place
Yeah.
where they do trivia. You know, Salem's got Mac and Bob's. You know, Blacksburg has 622 North.
Yeah, that's right.
Giles, I don't have a trivia night.
No. Have you even like considered not karaoke, but like live bands or like a musician to come and play?
I have thought about that, doing like some sort of special event in the evening and
Yeah.
having someone like that. I wanted to get it together for my grand opening, but I don't think that's going to happen. There's just so many things.
Speaking of the grand opening, it's this coming week, or this week, right?
So it'll start on February the 8th.
Oh, okay. So 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I'll be closed all this following week.
Okay.
Like I said, there's some things I want to get put out and some paint I want to touch up, just like things like that. I bought some more furniture pieces. I bought some more stuff for our play area for the kids. So just different things I want to just get out and finish.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, so we'll have the grand opening week. And then I'll have something every single day of the week.
Nice.
And then, like, kind of the finale is on Saturday. And then I'll be on regular hours after that, which I still haven't totally committed to, so I don't want to say them out loud.
Right.
But yeah, it'll be really fun. I have a lot of stuff planned.
I came here the second day you guys were open, and the line was outside. And I got the Parisburg peach and I think some type of coffee. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Thank you.
Do you have anything you want to ask him?
I'm just, thinking about that menu.
Yeah.
The options. I see it on the little sign there.
Oh yeah, it was from this week.
So what's the grand opening week? Do you have an idea? You talked about the bagels.
Yeah, so they definitely want the bagels. Oh gosh. I was not prepared for that. I was totally not prepared for that.
What kind of pastries do we have?
Oh goodness. So my pastries are more
Yeah, we've talked about a lot of like coffee and food
Yeah.
items. What
Yeah.
about the pastries?
okay. So I haven't really gotten to do a lot of that yet because it's just been so incredibly busy.
Yeah.
But I really like to do yeast risen doughs. So like cinnamon rolls, sticky buns, pecan rolls, that sort of thing. That it's like the size of your face and you have to have a fork to eat it.
Oh, okay.
But then I also really like the finer things too, like macarons, decorated sugar cookies, which take me days and days to complete because there's so many like intricate details. Everybody loves my cookies. So like just a basic cookie completely sells out. So definitely those, but then like cheese danishes. I do a really good cheese danish that people love. The muffins have been a huge seller
man.
already.
Betty knows
He's a
how much
muffin
I
man.
love a good muffin.
The Muffin
Yes.
Man.
Especially those little bites.
Yes. But I do different works with like chocolates too. Like I'll do
That's my kryptonite.
truffles.
Yep.
Yes.
Truffles, oh my god.
Truffles. I do
Oh,
really
man.
good truffles. So February for me like is just kind of like my time because February is such an underrated month.
Yeah.
It's totally underrated. I absolutely love February just because I think the flavor profiles are my absolute favorite. You've got the chocolate because everybody wants chocolate for Valentine's Day.
Right, absolutely.
But then you also have like the fruity notes of raspberry and strawberry that pair so well with that. You have like the caramel, just those like really decadent flavors that you can do so many things with. And that's why February is my time to shine.
Right.
Wow.
So you make all of this by yourself, or do you have coworkers that you're training to make?
Well, it's just me for now and for the
That's a lot of
foreseeable
work.
future. It
That's
is.
a lot of work.
Yes. Even when I'm closed, I'm still doing 12 and 13-hour days, 7 days a week.
Right.
And it's just the beginning, so it's definitely a lot. And I'm very like type A personality. Everything just has to be like super perfect.
Yeah.
But then I also like wear my heart on my sleeve, and so I'll get like so easily torn up if something's not perfect.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have one employee now who's been with me every single day I've been open, and she's been doing our salads and a lot of things like that. So, I'll just kind of like make one up, and this is what I want it to look like, and then she recreates that with the ingredients that we have. So
It's like I don't want to get rid of my secret recipe.
yeah. So, for now and for a while, because, it's my name I've worked so hard to build.
Yeah.
And I think that people kind of expect it too. Like, if they want something made by Sugar and Flour, they're going to want it made by Samantha. As far as, like, the desserts and things go, just because I've been doing it for so long, it really does take a lot of time to craft, like, your own unique way of doing things.
Yeah.
You can have a cinnamon roll, but it's going to be different every place that you go, because even down to the technique of rolling it out can vary so vastly. So I definitely know eventually I'm going to have to kind of bring somebody else to the table to do those things.
I'm sure it's hard to just, if they don't do it right, you're just like,
Yeah. I'll say, oh my gosh, this is so fantastic, and then I'll do it myself after they leave.
Right. I can see how that, it's hard to,
Yeah. I mean, like the decorated sugar cookies, I've been doing those for like 5 years, and there's still so many techniques that I don't know. And it's such a hard thing. People like expect you to whip those up in a day. No, those take like 5 days.
Right.
If you're doing a really intricate design, and you have each layer has to dry. Like, let's say that a layer really needs to dry for like 12 hours before you can put on top of that layer, because if not, then you're going to get bleeding of the colors, or you're going to get the icings kind of meld together when you want like a really defined line. So unless somebody has a lot of experience with that, it's even to teach someone, it's going to take so long to develop that technique even for them.
Right.
So.
And it seems like you're so busy, every day is like 13 hours of work. Seems like we're disrupting your time.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
We're
absolutely
interrupting
not.
here.
No.
But if someone was curious about Sugar and Flour, where could they find more information? Like online, if you want to plug anything, or would like to promote anything upcoming?
So obviously we have Facebook, Instagram, which I'm so bad about posting. I need to do better about Instagram. They actually also have an app.
Okay.
I've had an app for like ever, just because I thought the process would take longer than it did. So I released that to family and friends to kind of like work the bugs out. So right now it's on Google Play, but I'm working with Apple to get it put out on iPhone. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks that will be ready to go. I haven't really been pushing that for Android users just because the Apple users get so upset.
They are a sensitive bunch.
They really are.
They are.
He's an Android guy.
Okay.
But I never.
Oh, you both are.
I never mention Androids at all. But these Apple people, anytime there's a problem with my phone,
Oh yeah.
it's
Right.
just like, dude, I don't care.
know.
I don't care.
Very sensitive bunch.
They are.
So eventually you'll be able to download the app, which I'll do push notifications for a weekly menu. You'll have a loyalty card on there, so if you come in and you buy X amount of drinks, then your 10th one is free or whatever.
Well, that's how you get repeat customers. With
Yeah.
the
Right.
points. Yes.
I'll post like BOGOs, happy hours, and different things like that on the app as well. So that's probably like the biggest component for contacting, which will be so soon. A lot of people are like, what's your phone number? don't have a phone number. And I probably won't get one just because I feel like that takes away from all the other customers. I don't have the staffing for that, and I probably never will.
Right.
I would probably have to have like a dedicated person for like a 3 to 4 hour time span.
We'll never say never, though.
Yeah.
Never but never. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being on. It's great that we got to
Yeah.
come in here and talk to you and get more information about the place. We'll have this, uploaded Monday morning at 5 a.m.
Oh,
That's what we
wow.
usually do.
Okay.
Visually, sometime
later.
this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But you got anything?
I'm good.
I expect you to come in grand opening week and get a Pearsburg peach.
I'll be there. I
Wow.
will
Yeah.
be there.
Wow.
I'm a little disappointed you haven't had it yet.
I didn't even know this existed,
He's not on social media.
which I'm glad. See, it's a different time, She talks about growth on social media. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out of it because I don't like the growth of social media. I like
Right.
getting back to the old stuff. I mean,
Well, he's got me to let him know some stuff.
Exactly. Which is the idea of coming in with the app. Because, let's face it, Facebook's not going to be around forever.
Right.
People are dropping out, just like this one over here
Yes.
of it.
Yes.
So definitely want to have that other option for people to be able to connect. And
Yeah.
right.
everybody's going to always be on their phone. I feel that for sure.
Yeah.
So the app was just like the next
Hey,
next step.
You're
in
evolving,
involvement.
and that's a great way to evolve a business. Think outside the box, really.
That is outside the box. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we had an app? How bad that app would be.
It'd be awful.
It wouldn't. Well, you guys are so professional. I was so
No.
impressed. Look at this.
Don't tell us
No,
that.
I am
It'll get to our
thoroughly
heads.
impressed.
Well, thanks for that.
We are Giles County's fastest rising podcast.
Dallas County is moving up in the world. Watch out, Blacksburg.
This is insane.
Well, last thing I want to ask you. Every time we have a guest, we ask this. This is a advice show.
Technically, yes.
Yeah, technically. It's called Unhelpful Advice because we usually give unhelpful advice. But do you have helpful advice for anybody that would, maybe want to start a business,
In the county.
anything, in a county or strive for their dreams?
Yeah. So it sounds like you're evolving too.
Trying
Yes.
to get a studio, everything.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you asked that question because it has been on my heart so much to want to be able to help other businesses or people that want to start businesses just because I experienced so much trial and error with this. I think as a whole, between myself and the developers, we had never experienced this part of starting a storefront business. Mm-hmm. So there was so much information that we learned, and I would be so willing to share with anyone else that wanted to. And there's resources out there, don't get me wrong, but they're not super friendly.
Right.
They're outdated, or there's just an abundance of information. It's so hard to shift through it. So I have really wanted to make it a goal to dedicate myself to putting a group of business owners together so that we could be a network for future people that want to establish businesses. Obviously, it's not something I can do tomorrow, but again, by the end of the year, I'm really hopeful that I'll have a really good system down here. I've got some great employees already, so that maybe I can dedicate a little bit of time outside of the shop. But I do. My goal is to get a network of current business owners together in a unofficial capacity so that, if we want to go have margs and talk about businesses and,
Right.
and what we're going through and experiences that we've had, we could be available if someone else is like, hey, I'm really passionate about this. This is what I really want to do. It's on my heart. Then we can say, here's the first steps you need to take. I did things out of order, and that really caused delays also, but there was just so much information available. I'm like, oh my goodness, if I don't have this, I can't do this, when in reality it was kind of the opposite. So I absolutely want to be able to devote some time to doing that, but if if you want to do it, I feel like you should just go for it.
Yeah.
Because there's so many good things happening in Giles County right now. It's honestly just the best time to get in on the ground and do that. So, but you have to have a good support system. So surround yourself with people that are supportive.
That's what I'm saying. I think you're doing it the best way possible. Like you mentioned, like the going out, hang out with, and drink margaritas. That's probably the best way, to have a business relationship, that you can have that kind of friendship in a way, and both of y'all or all of y'all believe in each other.
Exactly. Like, I'm super competitive, like I mentioned. I mean, if you want to throw down on some Monopoly, we'll be here for the next 24 hours,
Yeah,
right?
that's a long process.
But, even with my grand opening, I'm buying gifts from other businesses to give away at my grand opening.
Nice.
Just because that's so important to be able to support each other, because if a customer sees you supporting someone else, then they're going to go and they're going to be like, oh, that's really cool. I'm going to support that person too.
Right.
So I think as a whole, if we could really just come together so much more, we could just be even better. So yeah, that's my jam. I love supporting, we hear a lot of women supporting women, and it absolutely is that, but it's not just that. It's owner to owner. And if you don't have that reputation with someone, it's hard. So establishing a friendship is really ground level. Example, Lori across the street for Simply Charming Boutique, love her. She and I kind of started at the same time with our storefronts. And I'm so proud of her for everything she's done over there. And she's been a great kind of advice for me too. And so I feel like I can depend on her if I had a question.
Yeah.
And I want to keep cultivating that group for future business owners to have.
You don't want haters either.
No.
Like Samantha across the street.
Oh my
Can't stand
gosh.
Put her out of business.
No.
Rivalries.
It takes so much energy to dislike someone.
Right.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree too. I mean, it's easier to just get along with somebody than have a grudge against them.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's, there are, like you mentioned a few minutes ago, kind of like my secret recipe. Obviously I'm not going to give you my recipes
Right.
or share that with you, but.
And people should understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the business aspect of it, it's such a beast. And
Yeah.
I would be more than happy to help someone get on their feet. I can't speak for this person, but there's another business that's really wanting to go into another town in Giles. And I'm here for her. Hey girl, let's, I'll help you do whatever you need to, because again, it comes down to our kids' future.
Yeah.
It's not about us. Once you have children or a family, it's not about you anymore ever.
Right.
So our future is with our children. And so I want to be able to retire here and have my kids here and have just a really great life and not have to drive to Blacksburg to go and get something. I had a customer actually come in here yesterday, and they posted, and it got me super emotional. I'll probably get emotional now just talking about it, but they came in and had lunch with their family, their children and her husband and everything. They come in and had lunch. Had a great time, and then they went over to Gigi Ceramics, and all of their kids painted something and had craft time. And she was like, it's so amazing that we could do this in our home and not have to drive to Blacksburg or Christiansburg and do this and have a nice family outing.
Yeah. A fun day of just, being in your home county.
Yeah, exactly. So we need more businesses
Yes.
to come and to help revitalize this town. And I'm more than willing to help anybody.
Well, I think you're on the right path of success. You're already successful now.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I can't wait till the grand opening, because I'm sure people are going to be outside just waiting. Do you have anything?
I'm good.
Well, Samantha, thank you for being on.
Thank you.
Like I said, we'll have this out this week, and good luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I will definitely show up here soon.
Yes, I hope so.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm in Harrisburg about once a month.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not local.
I am Newport.
Oh, you're Newport. Oh,
Newport and Blacksburg, or
I'm so Harrisburg's. I'm just kidding.
Like right there. Harrisburg's over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
I could try and get over here when I, get my hair cut at Uppercuts.
Yeah.
And if you go there, tell him Steve sent you.
He always says that.
That's our partnership.
Yeah.
is it a paid partnership?
It's not.
No.
It's a friendship.
You guys need to have some sponsors. Get some
We're
sponsors
trying.
on the end of this.
Yeah.
And help get your studio.
We're open.
See, I'm already
Yeah.
helping.
We're open
right?
for business.
I'm already helping.
We're open for business.
Well, thanks again, Samantha, and everybody. Check out Sugar and Flour. It's the best thing in Giles County right now. Make sure the 5-star the podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify. Like and subscribe on YouTube. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
We're out.